Hello all, today we are going to learn the random functions. These are defined inside the random module. So let us see which functions are there in our syllabus. So random functions are defined inside the random module. Before using these functions, we need to import the module. So the module will be imported like import random. You have to write this statement in your code. So the following functions are in our syllabus. The first function is the random.random, where first random is for the name of the module. Okay, this is the name of the module, and this is the name of function. Again, in the second function also, this is the name of module, and this is the name of function. In the third also, name of module and the name of function is rand range. And the fourth function that we will read will be the choice function, and the fifth function that we will read will be the shuffle function. So let us see this one by one. First, random. See, this can generate any float number. It can generate any float number between 0 to 1. That is, it may be equal to 0, but it must be less than 1. Okay, so it can generate a number which may be equal to 0, which may be which will be greater than equal to 0, but it must be less than 1. So it must be less than 1, any float number. Random.random not notice or make it clear that random function does not take any argument. Random.random, it can generate any number. We have to pass two integers here, a, and suppose we are passing two integers a and b, then a will be the lower limit and b will be the upper limit. So it will generate integer number between a to b and including both, less than equal to a, greater than equal to b. Random.rand range, there is three variations of this function. We can pass single argument, double argument, and triple argument. In the single argument, of course, it will take the upper limit as the argument. So it may generate any number from 0 to that upper limit minus 1, and it will generate the integer value. And if we pass two arguments, then it will if we pass one argument, then the upper limit will be passed. If we pass two arguments, then it will generate numbers from a to upper limit. A will be the lower limit and b will be suppose upper limit. Then it may generate number from a to b minus 1. And the third will be the a comma b comma step, where a will be the lower limit, b will be the upper limit, and step will be the step. And so it can generate any number from a to b minus 1 with the step provided. Random dot choice, here it takes one argument, that is the of type sequence. Here it takes one argument of type sequence, and sequence may be a list, it may be a string, or it may be a tuple. So it can generate any element from the sequence passed as argument. Now the random dot shuffle will again take one argument that will be of type sequence, and it does not return anything, but it changes the order of the original sequence, or it changes the order of elements in the sequence, and thus it changes the original sequence or the original list passed as the argument. So let us see these one by one with the Python example also. The first is the random.random. It generates a random float number between 0.0 to 1.0, but it will be less than 1.0. The function doesn't need any argument, so it may generate greater than equal to 0 but less than 1. So let us take one example. Here in this example, you can see that random module is imported, and we are just printing random.random. Since it does not need any argument, it is just written as random.random with blank parentheses. Here it is generating 0.77 because it may generate any number greater than equal to 0 but less than 1. If you run this code for the next time, it may generate another number also. Okay, so let us take one example of this. So we have written a Python code here. You have to find the output from the option given here. Four options are here, so which one will be the correct? Now see, random.random can generate any number between 0 to 1, which may be equal to 0 but less than 1, and we are adding 10 to it. So of course the output will be 3, because after adding the number we will get 10 as the integer value, and the rest will be the decimal parts. Let us see another example. Now you have to try this by yourself. Just make one change here. Instead of this, you have to write length of list. So it will start from 0 and it will go up to 4. Okay, so it will start from 0 and it will go up to 4. So what may be the outputs from here? You can find out. List of element is adding with the random dot random. Random dot random can generate any number between 0 to 1, means it must be less than 1, but it may be equal to 0. Now suppose it generates zero point 0.6, then of course the option 1 will be correct. Now suppose it generates the second, now suppose it generates zero point 0.8, but the here we are getting that 7 is the integer number, but in the list element we can see that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 are the elements. So 2 is not possible. Again 4 is possible, true, and 10 is also possible, of course, because it is going to generate 10 also, because the range passed is length of list. If range passed is not length of list, or suppose it is length of list minus 1, then it will not get 10.9 as the output. Okay, so let us see the next. Random dot random is the next function. It can generate any integer between a to b, where including both a and b, where a and b are the argument passed to this function. Let us see this example. Again, in this example we have passed one list, and see here we are calling rand int function. So rand int can generate any number between the passed values. So here the passed value is 5 and the lower limit is 5 and the upper limit is 10. So it can generate any number from 5 to 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Suppose it generates 5, then what will be the output? Will be 5 will be added to each element, 5 plus 2, 5 plus 4, 5 plus 6, 5 plus 8. And similarly, if suppose random.randint generates 6 as the number, then 6 will be added to the list elements. So like this we have to choose the options using the elimination formula. And what may be the possible outputs? We have to make a table for all the possible outputs. Here the same is done for you. See here, randint can generate any number from 5 to 10. So in each case we have to add the list elements, and so the possible outputs may be anyone from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 18. Okay, so suppose I make a Python code for this. Suppose we make a Python code, we just check it how it works. So I am importing the module import random, and I am just printing the output as print random dot rand int. Suppose I give the lower limit as 2 and the upper limit as 5. So it can generate any number from 2 to 5 including both values. Let us see what number it gives us. So you can see here that it is generating 2 as the output. Okay. Now let us close it, and again we try to run the same program. Here I am opening the Python, and I am opening the same program again, the same Python code again, that is the randint 2, and I am running it. Okay, here you can see the output as 5. Similarly, in the next run, you can get the other output also. So the random function works like this, randint. And let us see another function. The next function is the rand range function. So there is 3 variations of rand range. First, it may take one input, that is the stop. It means that will be the upper limit. Stop means the upper limit. So it may generate any number from 0 to stop minus 1. In this case, it can generate any number from 0 to stop minus 1, and the number will be the integer. Okay, stop minus 1. Similarly, in the next variation, you can see that start and stop both are passed, so it can generate any number from start to stop minus 1. In the third, you can see that 3 variables are passed. So like range function, it will work. It will generate number from start. It will go up to stop minus 1, and with the step provided. So it may generate any number in the given with the given criteria. So these are the 3 different variations. One can generate integer from 0 to stop minus 1, default step is 1. 2 can generate integer from start to stop minus 1, default step is 1. And third, it can generate integer from start to stop minus 1 with the step given. Okay, so let us see this also, one example of this also. See, in this example, we are explaining all the three variations. In the first here, you can see that in the first here in the first calling, you can see that. Sorry. Okay, in the first example, you can see that random dot rand range 100 is given. Okay, so random dot rand range 100. It means it may generate any number between 0 to 100, 0 to less than 100. Okay, means 0 to 99, including 99. Again, we have passed here in the second statement. We can see that 50 and 100 are passed, so it can generate any number from 50 to 99. So in the third step, you can see here that 50, 100, comma 5 is passed. So suppose it is generating 50, then the next statement, the next number it can generate is the 55, or the next number it can generate maybe the 60, and like this. In the step of 5, it will generate the number. If the first one is 51, then it may generate the 56 as the next number. So step is also provided. You can see the output of this. Here we can see here that the first is 50, then it will skip the 7, it will skip 5, and it will generate 75 as the number. The first is clear, second is also clear. In the third, you can try by yourself also. It will skip 5 each time while generating the number. Okay, with the step of 5, it will generate the number. So let us see the next slide. Now the next function is the choice function. It may generate any number, any element of the given sequence, passed sequence. So it needs one argument to be passed, that will be the sequence, and it returns a randomly selected element from a non-empty sequence. It means we have to pass one element here. We have to pass one sequence here. The argument will be of type sequence. Here we have to pass the argument, and which will be of type sequence. Argument which will be of type sequence. Sequence may be a list, may be a double, or it may be a string also. Okay, so the one argument, it is taking one argument, it is accepting one argument, but it is returning the element of that argument. It is returning one element from that argument. It may be any random element. If an empty sequence is passed as argument, then it raises an index error. So we have written one code. First, in the first statement, we are passing 19367 as the argument, and in the second statement, we are passing a string as a sequence in the argument for the function choice. So in the first case, we can see that it is generating 6. It is randomly taking a number, and it is generating 6, which is we, of course, it must be present in the list. So it will generate an element from the list only. Out of list, it is not going to give you any value. So from the list, it is generating 6, and from the passed string, it is generating E as the output. So it can generate any number in the next run. It can generate any element from the passed sequence. So the last is the random dot shuffle. The shuffle function does not return any value, but it takes one argument. Like the choice function, it also take one argument that will be of type sequence. Like choice function, it also accept one argument that is of type sequence. It may be string, it may be tuple, or it may be list. But see, what it does, uh, it just uh, it just changes the order of the element inside the sequence, and thus it changes the original sequence. So let us see. The shuffle method takes a sequence, list, string, or tuple and reorganizes the order of the items. It does not return any value. So does not return any value means by default it is returning none, and it changes the original order of the list. So in this example, you can see that for the first print, here we have passed the list as the argument inside the shuffle function. Here we have passed list as the argument inside the shuffle function, but we are trying to print this function. Since it is not going to return any value, we will get none in this case. For this statement, we will get none. But for the list, what we are going to get? For the list, we are going to get a reordered list or the changed list. here you can see that the list elements are reordered. Okay, so it may be in any order. Randomly it is organizing the data of the sequence. So these all are the five functions which we have to read, and we have to read in our syllabus, and we have to find the output. Let us try to get one output from the one question, which means with the type of question which may come in the exam also. It is from the board exam itself. So let us see that question. So the question will be like, what are the possible outcomes executed from the following code? Means you will be given a number of options. You have to select one option from them, which will be the best, or one or more than one also be possible, which may be the possible outcome for the provided Python code. And you also have to find the maximum and the minimum value for the number for which random is used. For example, here in this case, you can see that you can see here in this example that here random.randint is used for num, variable num. So the what may be the value of variable num? The value of variable num may be 1, or it may be 2, or it may be 3, because randint generates integer from the provided range, including both the values. So it can generate 1, 2, and 3. Now let us move to the next. What is there in the statement? Here you can see that there is one loop which is running from num. So the loop may run in three cases. First, if num is equal to 1, second, if num is equal to 2, and third, if num is equal to 3. So in all these three cases, we have to find the output, and then we have to select from the given options. So if num is equal to 1, see, if num is equal to 1, it is not going to give us any output. If num is equal to 1, it is not going to give us any output, because num is equal to 1. It means it will not run, the loop will not be executed. So for the first case, if num is equal to 1, the loop is not going to give us any output. But in the option, we have no options like no output. So in the second, suppose num is equal to 2. Now if num is equal to 2, in this case we can see that loop will execute exactly once, that is for num is equal to 2. If num is equal to 2, then loop is going to execute exactly once, that is for num is equal to 2, or c is equal to 2. Now, if c is equal to 2, in this case, what will be the value of NAVC? If c is equal to 2, then NAVC will be right. Okay, so we are going to get NAVG plus right. That is, we are going to get only right as the output in case of num is equal to 2. Now, see, if num is equal to 3, then the loop will execute for 2 times. If num is equal to 3, then the loop will execute 2 times, that is for c is equal to 3, and for c is equal to 2. For c is equal to 3, and for c is equal to 2. So when c is equal to 3, in this case, we are going to get the string back as the output, because nav3 is equal to back. So we are going to get the third output back, and it will be concatenated with the empty string of navg. Now when the loop will run for c is equal to 2, then we will going to get the output right. So it will again be concatenated to the navg, which is currently back. So back right, we will get the output as back right. Now it will going to print the navg. So what will be the option? What is the option that is correctly matching with our output is the back right only. Now rest are not the options which we are getting. So let us see. I have tried it in. Okay, I have tried to execute this step by step. If you feel any problem, please let me know. So for the maximum and minimum value of num, of course, we will try to find the minimum and the maximum value that can be generated by the randint function. So the minimum and the maximum value that can be generated by the randint function is 1 and 3. And because it may generate any number from 1 to 3. So the minimum and the maximum value that can be generated will be 1 and 3. So let us see the next step execution. Here in this table, you can see that when c is equal to 1, that is when num is equal to 1, c will be 1, and so no, the loop will not be executed. When num is equal to 2, then c is equal to 2, the loop will be executed only once, that is for c is equal to 2, and the output we will get will be right. And since right is not in our option, so we will leave it. Now we will move to if num is equal to 3. If num is equal to 3, then the loop will execute for c is equal to 3 and c is equal to 2. Now when c is equal to 3, we are going to get the output back, and when c is equal to 2, it will be concatenated with the back, so we are going to get the output back right. So the option is back right. Okay, so now try by yourself. Now this is for you. You try it and tell me your answer, what answer you get. Okay, so this is all about the random function. And read it and listen the video. If you find any kind of problem or any kind of doubt, you can ask me anytime. Okay. Okay.